up, Trainiacs? So about a little over a month ago, I did a video with Nick Bear. You remember Nick Bear? This guy? This gorilla of a human? So Nick Bear has historically been a weightlifter, a bodybuilder, CrossFitter, like big muscular guy, and we've taken him on as a project and a new member of Team Trainiac that we're helping him train up to his first triathlon, which is also going to be his first Ironman in Panama City, Florida on November 2nd, and we're going to have a check-in with him. I know that he's been training his butt off, but I want to know what it's like for a complete beginner triathlete who's a big guy, a former weightlifter, to start getting into the sport. What are the challenges that are unique to him? Let's give him a call. Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
It's like Wednesday's the intense bike, and then Thursday's typically a high volume run.
Oh, yeah.
And then Friday's a little bit of a break with a swim, and then Saturday's the brick, and then like Sundays, like previously with training, I never really I didn't need days off.
I bet you do now.
But now it's like, this is one of the first times in my life I can remember where I looked forward to my Sunday rest days.
And that is how you get a weightlifter ready for an Ironman. All right, give me some time. I'm going to digest that. Some good lessons. It's good. We got good stuff going on. All right. I've thought a lot about that call that we just did with Nick, and what are the things that not just weightlifters, but bigger triathletes, Clydesdales, people that are in the process of losing weight, just bigger men and women that are working towards becoming maybe a new triathlete, maybe a new Ironman, but what are the things that are going to be unique to them that are not going to be the case for everyone? But there are some lessons in that chat that we just had, actually, that can apply to a lot of people. Now, the first being that because Nick is a bigger dude, he is going to go through a lot of pounding. The pounding in the run is probably going to be a little bit more forceful, a little bit more detrimental on his body structure, just because what we have to deal with is somewhere in between about 7 and 19 times our body weight every time we land. If your body weight is higher, there's going to be that much more weight coming down and compressing.
And this has always been my problem, is once I get to higher volume or a longer time on my feet, I have just my body that just like requiring more fuel. But I just body starts getting exhausted and tired, which stamina and endurance is part of it. But like my second run yesterday, towards the end, plus the heat, I was just like, my legs were done.
So what I recommended for Nick in this case, and I'd recommend this for everyone, whether you are a bigger athlete or a lighter athlete, if you ever have issues where you feel really beat up from a run, if you have a history of running injuries, take a little bit of load off your body by running some trails. Now make sure that these aren't trails that are like ankle breaking trails where you're really, really dicey and going on single track and things that you can get injured in, because an injured athlete is the slowest athlete out there. But if you can run on some soft surfaces, it's going to take a lot of load off your body, probably going to place a little bit more extra load in the legs, so it's going to strengthen the legs, making a bit more of a strength run, which really, really helps our durability to get through that run without our muscles feeling beat up. So we're going to be able to perform better in the race and throughout all the training, not be as susceptible to injury.
Yeah, in Austin, there's some good trails.
Yeah. If it's easy to get to, that might make life a little bit easier on you to take some of that pounding off the body. Yeah. Pavement's really, really hard on the body, especially for those longer runs. Next, because Nick is a bigger dude, there's more mass, so it's a lot tougher for him to cool himself. There is more mass that you've got to cool down. There is more cooling requirement. And him especially being in Austin, where he's at like 105 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, it's not always super easy to just say, well, I'm going to train in cool conditions, especially when you are training for Ironman, when you're training constantly. So you've got to train at some points throughout the day. But this is really, really tough on your system. The more you can do to keep yourself cool through all workouts, the better. So training earlier in the morning, if possible, later at night, if possible, a fan. Like, heat and endurance training is really hard on the body when you put it together.
Yeah, I've been trying to do. I do most of my workouts in the morning. I do, if it's only one run a day, I do it first thing in the morning.
Training in super hot weather, it places a really big taxation on your nervous system because your heart rate is through the roof. So the difficulty of any average workout is that much more difficult on your system. It's as if even in some of your easier workouts, you went really hard unless you peg yourself to a nice low heart rate ceiling, in which case you might have to run or ride really slow, but that's not a bad thing when you're doing specific heart rate training. However, if you are just training in general, everything that you can do to keep yourself cool. These are slushies that you take actually during your rides and your runs, and training indoors with fans and cool air conditioning. This is training as much as you can early in the day or late at night. As much as you can do to keep your body cool is going to take less out of your body as a whole so that you are able to recover a lot better, and you are thus going to be able to absorb the training and do better in the race. If your body's working really hard just to fix the damage done and the taxation on the nervous system caused by the heat, it's not going to be able to address the compensation effect that it needs to have from the training. So stay out of the heat as much as you can. And then finally, you are going to be a sinker in the water. Like, look at it. I am like a fraction of the size of Nick, but look at these things. Look at these. Look at these big meaty gams that I got there. These are sinky legs. Muscle weighs more than water. So if you're a muscular person, if you're a big, bulky person, you're almost always going to sink in the water when you end up coming into triathlon. Just kind of part of it. When you sink, you end up freaking out, having a bit of a panic response. You flail a lot more, you sink even a little bit more. That's something that Nick is struggling with, and that's something that bigger, more muscular people end up having to deal with. How are your legs? Are, like, you say that they're spread a little bit apart. Do they sink a little bit? Because you're a muscular dude, so I'd imagine they'd be kind of sinky.
They weren't sinking in the pool. I mean, obviously my mechanics changed a little bit when I go open water, and I do find that they sink in open water when I really start to slow it down.
Now, what we set Nick up with is a copy of my new book, Triathlon Swimming Foundations, and he's going through all of the drills, the breathing exercises, the floating exercises, the calming yourself down exercises so that he can get into the water. And he's like, I got this. I know I'm not going to sink. I know that I'm just going to have to swim very comfortably and at kind of a steady pace, and he's not going to really work himself up and be losing breath. So you can go check that out at triathlontaren.com/triathlon swimming book and see exactly what Nick is going through. It's got the entire book. You can get an audiobook version of it. It's got all the video demonstrations of all the drills. I'm a really big fan of it.
So it's really just working mechanics. Like, breathing is getting better. But my problem was I was just rushing everything.
Yep.
Like, I was treating it like a sprint. Yeah, my first time open water swimming, I did like a sprint out into the middle, and I realized I was gassed. My biggest problem right now is keeping my feet together. My feet naturally want to like go this way.
Yeah, go like that.
Yep. So I keep doing that. So that's my biggest focus right now. But breathing is getting better. I'm doing all the drills that in that book you sent over.
Okay. So as I'm working more with Nick, I'm really enjoying learning how bigger people, more muscular people that are coming from a weightlifting background, the challenges that they're going to have when they get into triathlon. And bottom line is, he's killing it. He's really enjoying it too. And I highly recommend that you all go check out his YouTube channel. And right over here, we'll put a couple of videos right there and right there to some of the videos that he's done with his training. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of our summaries about how to train as a weightlifter getting into triathlon, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Later, Trainiacs.